They put us into a small niche in the tunnel and then brought in a young man from our community. He had been abducted barefoot into Gaza. He had glass in his feet, and he was bleeding from head to toe. Shortly after that, they brought in a mother, our neighbors, a mother of three, her three children aged 16, 11, and 9, neighbors of ours. The mother told us the terrorists had broken into their house and they had murdered her husband and eldest daughter and then abducted them in their car into Gaza. We spent 2.5 days in the tunnel, then taken out into 2 different residential homes. One day, the terrorists took a woman hostage who they had accused of being an officer in the IDF. A terrorist came to me and said that I must convince this woman hostage to confess that she is an officer. They brought me into a room. I saw this woman lying on her back on the floor with her hands and legs tied together, her mouth covered with tape. 2 terrorists were beating her with a rod. As I was telling her to confess, knowing that she had nothing to confess to, a 3rd terrorist stood by her head, was holding a sharp rod, and pushed the sharp rod to her forehead, applying pressure. One of the terrorists held a pistol to her head and told her that if she does not confess, he will kill her. I don't know what my state of mind was during this time. In retrospect, I feel like the terrorists had complete control over me. They told me what to do, and I did it. The memories of the situation that I was in haunt me to this day. Aviva and I hugged and said goodbye. Aviva said to me, "I will be strong for you, and you will be strong for me." The next day, I saw Aviva on the television being taken by Hamás terrorists to the Red Cross. I saw the mass hostile crowds banging on the car and the look of horror in Aviva's face. I never knew if she had made it home because footage in Gaza did not show the return to Israel. I only saw her getting into the car in Gaza and the door closing. The next day, the ceasefire ended and the terrorists became even more cruel and hostile. Every time the terrorist walked by me, I was afraid of being beaten, or even worse. The torture, violence, and abuse were always present. Terrorists pointing guns at me and saying they were going to kill me. Weapons of many kinds were always in sight. I was moved 33 times. I was held in tunnels, in schools, in residential homes with children and with wives of terrorists. For 50 days, I was with Aviva before her release. Then for the rest of my time in captivity, I was sometimes held with other hostages, sometimes locked away in isolation, sometimes alone with the terrorists. Ultimately, I would be alone without any other hostage for a total of 6 months. A 60-year-old man, completely alone, constantly in fear. No prospect of the future and no knowledge of what happened to my loved ones at home. The entire time I was in Gaza, I envisioned returning home, going to visit, reunited with my family, with Aviva, my 4 children, my 5 grandchildren, and my siblings, and going to visit my aging mother. The first thing I asked my wife on the way in the helicopter to the hospital after my release was about the health of my mother. My mother passed away 2 months before my release. My mother did not get a chance to know that I was home, and I did not get a chance to say goodbye to her.